Well, that's 30 seconds then, isn't it?
It always goes
Yes,
fast.
I'm familiar with how 30 seconds.
It should be more familiar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to the THF Extra Point Podcast. We're covering week 2 tonight. Gentlemen, welcome. How are y'all doing today?
Hello.
Pretty good. Very good. How are you?
If you're not familiar with the faces you see before you, I'm Wakko. This is Dabs, aka Daddy Dabs. We got Ray below us here and Genuvial down in the bottom right square.
With his beautiful hair.
You guys, we're all live on Twitch right now. Our Twitch handles are right below our names. We're also live over on the THF Hub Facebook page as well. If you're over on Facebook, don't forget to drop a like. And oh man, that's gonna be the theme tonight, isn't it?
Yeah. We should show that replay so everyone can see it. That'll be fun.
Oh man, I don't know about that.
I made the mistake of pulling it up on Twitter, and
That's where I watched it too.
I watched it like
I watched it on X. I don't know what Twitter's old. But.
The last one that I can remember being that gruesome was the Alex Smith injury years ago.
Yes.
I'm surprised he wasn't crying, bro, because he just was kind of like, ooh, my leg, ow. But then I watched the replay and I was like, oh, damn.
He almost stood. He almost tried to stand up.
Yeah.
But then he remembered that it hurt so bad, and he knew it was fucked up. And
you could tell in his face he knew he was done.
Yeah. And
he started to roll over, and as soon as his knee hit the ground on the when he got kind of on his side, he flipped back over and got right back on his rear because
and
with an injury like that, there may be a shock factor where he doesn't quite feel it right away.
I heard that someone said
absolutely.
he might not play for 2 seasons. Like someone thinks his career might be over. I'm wondering what y'all think about that hit on him, because he was already getting taken down and the guy went for his legs, which you're not supposed to tackle that way anyways. And that's what did it, because of that low blow from that second or third guy tackling him.
I've seen both extremes on the hit. I've seen people say it was completely legal. It was just a bad coincidence, and then have seen other people say it was dirty as hell and not right. But I don't know. I really don't. I haven't dissected it either enough myself personally. I don't know if I want to, honestly.
Yeah, me neither. I feel the same way as you, Wakko.
I've got knee injuries, and that hurt. I can tell you that hurt. It's just watching it, bro.
Yeah, Nick Chubb's a tough guy. I mean, he's as tough as it gets, but I don't know. I would have to replay it and watch it, but it seemed kind of like a low blow. It happens all the time. People get injured like that all the time, but I don't see it usually that bad. I mean, that's pretty bad if you have to lose 2 seasons. That sucks. You might lose your job because of that.
I think it's going to come down to what his injuries end up being.
His leg split in half, bro. I don't know.
Well,
I mean, that's not.
Is there anything broken? His ACL, PCL, LCL, they're all gone.
Yeah,
right?
I can pretty much get legs aren't supposed to bend that way.
Literally
considering he's already dislocated that knee.
In Georgia.
You can repair it and you can get it back to a certain level, but structurally it is never 100% what it used to be. So it's already at a weaker state than it was. And based on just how all the movement in that leg and the injury prior, his injury history, I can pretty much guarantee you every ligament you can think of is torn.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be tough for him to come back at all. But is it going to be a 1 year, a 2 year, or just retirement? That's the question that I don't think anybody here is qualified to answer.
Yeah.
Ray, you might be the closest, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can only estimate based on what I've seen. on the video, but it could be a variety of things. He's definitely done for the season. I'd be surprised if he's back next season.
Yeah, I don't think even at this point he'd be ready to start next season. Not right away. I don't see how. Because ACL is easily a 1-year process to rehab and get back on the field, right?
Oh, without
just
a doubt.
an ACL.
Just an ACL, yeah.
Yeah,
but there's more than just an ACL.
Yeah, definitely. Injury. That's why I said it's ACL, PCL. It's all of it. All of it's gone. They're going to have to repair his entire, and that's if there's nothing else. There's no broken bones or kneecap shattered or anything else that could be broken that could add to that injury. And while we're on injuries, Dabs, because that's not the only one. Who else? who else? Do we need to be finding replacements for in fantasy, or how much? What other players are affecting our pick'ems coming up too? What's your injury report?
There's quite a list. Obviously Nick Chubb took the prize. Everybody's focused on that. Saquon Barkley is the next one. He's going to be out at least 3 weeks with an ankle.
3 to 4, right? Is what I heard.
Yeah.
No deal.
So that will, when we get into fantasy, Matt Breida is a guy to watch out for there. Nick Chubb, Brandon Ayuk. His shoulder is hurt, so he's very questionable for Thursday's game. I doubt that he plays.
Great.
Because after Thursday, they have an extra 10 days before their next game. So I think they might just sit him.
Yeah. They got a lot of mouths to feed in San Francisco, so they're not going to be. My fantasy team might be hurting without Brandon Ayuk, but
I hope it is because we're playing.
San Francisco's not going to be. They're going to be okay.
Yeah, they're going to be fine. David Montgomery hurt his hamstring. He's questionable. So that's something to watch. Jahmyr Gibbs, his production will probably go up, which is good for me and bad for Wakko.
The moral, or that's the theme of the week, I think.
We play each other this week.
Yeah.
A lot of running back injuries. So there was David Montgomery. Jamal Williams is questionable. He hurt his hamstring. Usually, I think, and Firestorm might know this a little better, but hamstrings, it's a couple weeks, and it could be lingering.
Yeah, it depends on the injury. If it's just a strain or a tweak, it could be a couple weeks because, soft tissue, it takes some time to get back to normal, even if there's no actual, permanent damage.
Yeah. And it's a high risk of re-injury, right?
Exactly. That's the bigger problem.
Yeah. So we ask, was it Cooper Kupp? Is his hamstring always hurt? I don't know. Doesn't matter. All right, David Montgomery, Jamal Williams also with a hamstring. Greg Dulcich is put on the IR for a hamstring.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Week 2 is the hamstring.
Yeah. Jalen Waddle is in concussion protocol, so he may or may not play depending whether or not he passes. Salvin Ahmad, one of the running backs of the many running backs for the Dolphins, he hurt his groin, so he's questionable to play. For Austin Eckler owners, who owns Eckler in our league?
He does.
Okay, that's not good because they do not give a timeline for his return.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah, my team's going to be renamed to my injury report real soon because my guys are dropping like flies.
Zay Jones hurt his knee. He's questionable. Anthony Richardson is also, I don't know if he's in concussion protocol, but he was taken out for concussion.
Yeah.
And Kenneth Gainwell is also questionable for the Philly. If anybody wants to mess with Philly's backfield, he might play or might not. And Seven had it right. Devontae Adams is in concussion protocol as well. So Raiders are hurting for wide receiver right now.
Well, and that's a big one right there.
Yeah.
That's
and they don't have Jacoby Myers.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Hunter Renfrow had an amazing 1 catch last week. So
didn't Joe Burrow get injured again too?
Yes, Joe Burrow. I have it. Oh yeah, different part of the notes there. Joe Burrow, calf strain. So
Yep. Yeah, and you know, hindsight's 2020, right? But for Joe Burrow, there were a lot of people that were like, if he's not ready to go week 1, sit him. You know, like a lot of people were like, I don't understand why he's playing. He's questionable to start the season off.
exactly.
Like, just sit him if you have to. You know, like, and here we are, week 2. He's getting a setback in the same area where he was already injured going into the season, and so a lot of people are going to be questioning that. Should he have sat out week 1 and got another week under his belt to heal?
Yeah, the Bengals notoriously start slow. So I don't know. I think as a football player, Burrow's going to be fine, but as a fantasy guy, he's not going to be able to run anymore, or like he could if his calves bother him that much. So he has to be a pure pocket passer.
It's amazing. You got Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Tyler Boyd, fantasy wise, really not doing anything.
No.
That's 3 studs on Cincinnati's fantasy. And I know we're rushing ahead to fantasy stuff, but it's like, and then T. Higgins finally went off on week 2, but he put up a goose egg in week 1. It's like, if you're talking about fantasy, Cincinnati's really hard to trust right now.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
People keep sending me trade offers for Jamar Chase, and it's like, it's tempting just because he's not putting up the numbers right now.
Hey, check
bro.
out my team because I was actually thinking about
Yeah,
sending
I
an
almost
offer
sent you
out there.
Stevenson your way since I know you like him.
Yeah,
but
not
he
enough.
got
I don't know
taken
if it's
first.
enough to trade for Jamar Chase.
Yeah,
I
dude,
mean,
you got Jordan Addison out of that. That's
Yeah.
a steal. That is ace.
yeah, that's a good deal.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm happy with the trade. It's got a lot of upside. I know we're rushing a fantasy, but I just like talking about fantasy.
And we what did since he started off like 0-4 last year, didn't they?
0-2. They won their third, I believe.
Won their third game, but then they lost their fourth. That was the game against. No, wait. I'm sorry. The second game of the season was against the Cowboys. I was thinking that they went on like a pretty bad run, like the first 4 games of the season last year.
Personally, I'm not worried about the Bengals at all. This happens.
Yeah.
Unless his calf is more hurt than they're letting on, they're going to be.
Yeah. I mean, Joe Burrow did terrible first game, but even as you can see in the second game, he did way better. Like, it wasn't perfect, but it was a lot better. Like, they almost won. So I don't think you have anything to worry about.
Yeah.
What other should we bring up the pick'ems? Do you want to see what who talk about winners and losers in the real NFL real quick?
Yes, Q, sit Joe Burrow. Do not play Joe Burrow.
Who's Burrow play this week?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't even matter.
Look at that. Look who's on top.
Yeah.
See, I noticed, Debs, you also took Jacksonville, and I was like, I know he's trying to play riskier now because no one taking Jacksonville realistically. But
The Chiefs were playing. They were playing slow. I thought maybe Jacksonville their offense might have a little spark, but
I mean, against the right team, I'd take Jacksonville too, but not against KC. Not when they needed that. They needed that week 2.
Although I was the only one out of the 4 of us to pick my Titans.
Yeah, I did not see that one coming.
You were only one of 2 people that picked the Titans in the whole pick'ems.
Me and GP Aquino.
But what about that Atlanta pick?
You're the only person in the whole league to pick Atlanta.
That's it. I thought that would have. I thought that definitely would have. Given me a leg up, and I was only 1 point. I was only 1 point behind Dab, so not too bad.
Yeah, not a great week for...
I told you guys that to me it wasn't an upset pick. To me it was I don't have confidence in Green Bay and Jordan Love, and I was like Green Bay is always bad against the run, and Atlanta has 2 hot rushers right now, and that's why I took him. That's why that was the one and only reason right there. Green Bay sucks against the run. and Atlanta had 2 hot rushers in the league right now. So
And
it paid off.
Green Bay did not have Christian Watson or Aaron Jones, so that wasn't the full potential of Green Bay either.
Oh yeah, definitely not. But it was definitely where I was leaning.
Can we talk about how none of us got the Seattle Detroit game right?
Yeah, I think everybody was pretty all in on Detroit after week 1, right?
Yeah, I mean, I hammered the over on this game. I saw it from a mile away that they were going to hit the over just because it's 2 really good offenses and 2 not ideal defenses yet. But I thought Detroit, the way their offense has been, Jared Goff has been great. You know, aside from the 1 pick, I figured that it was Detroit's game all the way.
First of all, speaking of Goff,
Chargers Tennessee game where they went to overtime, but.
Did you catch the stat line on Goff like the last time he threw an interception?
Yeah, he went.
It was like 380 something,
300 plus consecutive passes without an interception.
He only needed entering that game. He only needed 44 complete or 40 more pass attempts without an interception to tie the record set by Aaron Rodgers in 2018, which was Tom Brady's on that list too, like the top 5.
Yeah, I think he was closer to Brady. I think he was less than 10 away from surpassing Brady.
Yeah, he was.
Brady
up
went.
there.
I think Brady went 399.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah. I think you're right. It was 390 something for Brady, but he's also on there another time earlier in his career.
Yeah,
where he did that. Where
he did it once with New England and then once the more recent one with Tampa Bay.
Yeah. And Goff was very close to being in that conversation too. But
Goff is good. I mean, there was a lot of discussion around Jared Goff when the Stafford trade happened because the talk was, Matthew Stafford has always been an elite quarterback. He's just always been on a bad team. Well, I mean, Detroit, they're a totally different offense now. It's a totally different team. It may have been a mixture of the two, and I know that at the time, it was a different team when Stafford was on it. But I still think that Jared Goff is an excellent quarterback.
Yeah, I think he's definitely above average. I mean, he's no slouch.
Most teams would be thrilled to have Jared Goff.
Right, right. Yeah,
he's solid.
I thought it was actually a very even swap. I thought both quarterbacks like mirrored each other, and I thought it was one of those like, this guy's really good
off Stafford, and there's Jared Goff. They're the same.
Yeah, these guys are both really good. They're not elite, but they're both really damn good, and they just needed a new home. They needed a change of scenery.
And they throw the ball like they got cannons, there.
And let's not pretend that Stafford didn't have good teams in Detroit. I mean,
he had Calvin Johnson.
He had Calvin Johnson. He had some elite running backs throughout the years. I mean, he played for some good teams. He also went 0-16 once, but yeah, the next year they were in the playoffs.
Right.
So it's not like it. I don't know. I definitely don't blame Detroit's history on Stafford. Like I don't think it was. I like that trade though. I did.
Well, it worked out. It worked out for LA. They got a Super Bowl out of it.
Yeah, for sure. Stafford's looked like a freaking hero on that. And then you realize that LA was just really good when Baker Mayfield took over for Stafford when he was injured, and he looked like a champ too.
Hey, we need to talk about him.
Yeah, he's looking. Yeah, we'll get there.
He's in my notes over here. He's something to talk about.
I'll defer to you guys on a lot of the games this week because I had a very busy Sunday, and I did, outside of the Cowboy game, I didn't watch a lot of football. Unfortunately, I feel like a slacker on the podcast here. But what other games over there on the Pick'ems look like they need discussion? Winners, losers, any upsets, anything of significance that we need to address?
I think so. Man, the rest are pretty.
Y'all watch that Giants comeback?
Yeah, that's the one I would probably want to chat about the most.
Yeah, that one
came
was
back
weird.
from the freaking Cardinals. Like, okay.
Yeah, they came back against a 60-point differential on the season so far. They let up 60 points without scoring a point, and then they come back to win the game. I think somebody had said in the last stream, the last episode, oh, watch out for Arizona. They're a frisky team. Yeah, but they're still Arizona. I think we all knew that the Giants were going to win, but I was bless you, very confident from the start that the Giants were going to turn around after getting absolutely pantsed by Dallas week 1. They weren't going to lose to
if that happened
but they
from
almost
the Cardinals,
did.
bro,
Let's
I
not
swear.
forget
they almost did.
If Dobbs just did that to him, oh my gosh.
Can you remember the last time a team went 6 quarters without scoring a single point?
I think you had to, I think they had the stat on the game. You had to go back to like the 1980s or the 1970s.
I'll be right back, gentlemen.
6 quarters, bro, without scoring so much as a field goal. That's how embarrassing. I mean, they rallied in the second half of that game just to get the stank off of them.
And then their starting running back gets hurt too.
Yeah, and then
that's gotta be
happened.
tough, bro. That's gotta be tough.
I hope there's no Giants fans in the chat because, man.
Do we know any Giants fans? I think we talked about this at the outro of the last episode. Do we know any, like, there's only a handful of teams really represented in the community, at least that are active. It seems like everybody's a Cowboys fan or a Philly fan or
I mean,
there's only
honestly,
a handful.
I feel like the Giants actually just became really interesting for me because I feel like that puts Daniels under duress because he doesn't have that star running back anymore to rely on, and he's got some decent weapons at wide receiver. It just depends on like if he can actually use it. And I feel like that's going to put him to the test if he can actually win these games without relying on Barkley to be there. And, I don't know the guy behind him if he's good or not, but I can assume that, he's not going to be on par with Barkley's success. So for for all the haters, like if he could actually do that right now and win some games without any running game at all, I feel like that would prove something.
You talk about Daniel Jones?
Yeah.
Dimes.
I think it definitely would prove something. I don't think it'll happen.
He's my QB1 in my my league that I was betting with my friends. And I'm 2-0 in that league.
Dude, I had the same problem last week, but reversed. I started Danny Dimes, and he put up like 4 points, and then Tua had 36 points on my bench.
Yes.
I got talked into starting Tua this week. Tua scored 11 or 12, and then Danny Dimes has 35 on my bench.
The same thing, dude. Daniel Jones dropped.
Unless you have one of the top 5 quarterbacks, it's like such a toss-up with some of these games.
Yeah, bro, that's how fantasy go.
I had Daniel Jones starting week 1. Disappointment. Yep. So I started Brock Purdy week 2. Like, somebody's got to throw all these touchdowns to these guys, right? And Daniel Jones dropped 33 fantasy points. So it was fantastic.
Yeah, that's tough. Well, I still won mine, but I had Kyron Williams bench and Josh Reynolds, and they both went off. I'm not mad because I still won, but that's like 60 points.
Yeah, Bolt friggin' slam dunked on me this week. I didn't even have, even if I had started Danny Dimes, I would have still lost by 20 points, I think.
Did anybody in here lose by 100?
By 100.
I was watching your matchup very closely.
And I wasn't even close to the lowest scoring team in the league.
No, let's talk about the
Ryan just destroyed me. Yeah, we'll get to. I'll bring up the.
Is he in the chat yet?
I haven't seen him.
Q?
I haven't seen anybody talk shit. So
yeah, Matthew lost by 0.5 in my friend's league.
Was there a close game in our league like that?
Yeah, Philly, the Philly special. He won his game by 0.1.
There's Q, dude. I called that. Spoken into existence. His ears must have been ringing.
There we go.
He had the duck
Yeah.
call.
What's his new name now? It's
Don't laugh. It's my first
don't
time.
laugh at me. It's my first time.
Oh.
Hey, they went way more hard on me on my first time. He got off easy. I got something weird. I got like the wiener wallets or something like that. I don't remember what sausage wallets. I was like, what is
Sausage
this,
wallets.
bro? What the hell is
Damn.
a sausage
That's-
wallet?
You don't know what it is. You can't afford it.
I'll tell you when you're younger. Yeah, Bolt beat me by 50 points. I didn't even come close. And then Philly Special beat Homely Boy by 0.1 points. 131.42 points versus Homely's 131.32 points.
Yeah, there's
Yes,
the
sir.
scores right there.
I brought the propane to Chun-Li Llamas.
See you later, Calvin.
Yeah, I can't believe. Yeah, I okay, so I almost lost by 100. Yeah,
At one point, you were losing by over 100 points.
yeah. It was rough.
I mean,
Rough.
as much as I hate to say it, Brian's team is the juggernaut of our league because he has Justin Jefferson and Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, and Keenan Allen, who was injured all last year.
Yeah,
I like how
I mean,
the
he'll ride high for a few weeks, but Keenan Allen's Keenan Allen. So
Yeah, he'll get injured. Like, I'm not wishing injury on him, but I stopped drafting that kid. Like, I had him for like 3 years in a row, and every time he just got hurt, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, and I told Brian when he drafted him the first time, I said, you know what? That's fine. I thought about taking him because I was like pick ahead of him or whatever last year. I thought about taking him, but you know what? The guy's burned me way too many times. And it's always at the worst time too that he burns me. So I'm like, no, I'm done with him. I won't draft him. I refuse. Even if he's the best player on the board, I will not draft Keenan Allen in any league ever again. Sometimes players just do that to you.
yeah,
Mine's Keenan
I
Allen.
don't draft Houston Texans, so
Who's worth drafting over there anyway?
I have
I
Damian
mean,
Harris, and he has
That's
not done anything yet.
debatable. That's
even back when
debatable,
Arian
but
Foster was a stud for the Texans. I didn't touch
Hey
him.
man, they're like my dark horse pick right now. They actually could do crazy, but that's for another talk. They got weapons. It's just anyway, I was gonna say that I like how likely I'm gay. He changed his name to I guess I'm not gay.
The best thing about the I likely am gay is I likely and M gay are both players that were on his team.
Yeah,
that's where the name came from.
Who's gonna tell him? Who's okay? All right, just making sure. Just making sure you knew.
That's great. It's great.
I did not know that.
Are you gonna fight to get Kareem on your team, Debs, or what?
No, because no.
I mean,
I'm
it's
not
your
high
team
on
name.
Kareem Hunt. I love the
what?
name. I don't really care for the player.
Wow.
Yeah, see, there's the Philly special and Uncle Rico. Philly special won by 0.10.
That's crazy. Yeah, Kareem Hunt. We were having somebody mentioned in the Discord that Kareem Hunt should be a running back one. No fucking way.
He just went to talk with the Browns today.
Yeah, even if he does go to the Browns, it's Jerome Ford's ball, and the Kareem Hunt will be the same thing he was last year for him. Third down passing back.
Can we just take a second and talk about Najee Harris?
I traded him.
Like I wish the running back economy is in shambles right now, but like I'm not the only person to have. I have him in another league. I wasted a 3rd round pick on him, and it's been a massive disappointment. I mean, Warren is popping off. Don't get like that. There's obviously the reason why, but when is the league going to adjust and stop ranking Najee Harris so high? Because this is the 2nd year in a row he's kind of fallen off.
He's so slow.
I mean, he's still like, don't get me wrong, he's still a capable running back in terms of like the league standard, but
Production, yeah.
you know, I learned from my mistake. I'll never draft him in the high round. If he's available, sure, I'll keep him for bench for bench depth. But
He was a keeper, and he was my keeper in this league, and I already traded him.
yeah, I wish I could trade him in my other league, but no one's gonna take him. Like, I offered him to the person in my league that had Nick Chubb. I offered him a pretty fair trade, including Najee Harris, and he said, "Yeah, I don't think I'd trade my kicker for Najee Harris right now."
Oh damn!
And I can't blame him. I don't blame him at all.
Nah.
You know,
It will be Jalen Warren's show here within the next month.
does anybody have him in our league? That's the real question. Did
Yes,
someone pick him
somebody
up?
has him. I've combed that waiver wire. It's so you got to know your shit now because
Yeah.
I have like 5 claims in right now. I don't know who I'm gonna get. Yeah, Bolt
me
has
too.
him.
Yeah, there's definitely
I have 5 claims in as well.
There's actually a lot of good picks. You just got to dig deep for them.
And I'm 0-2 in this league, so I have a very high waiver priority.
Yeah, I don't know who dropped
going
Josh
forward?
Reynolds, but whoever did that's probably kicking themselves in the head right now.
Oh
I
yeah,
just picked him up
you
for
snagged him
nothing.
up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who'd you pick
And you
up?
started him this week.
Mm-hmm. Or I didn't start him. He was on my bench with
Oh.
what's his name? Yeah, Williams. But yeah, I was talking about
was
Josh
Homely.
Reynolds.
Oh yeah.
Ooh,
Someone
that's
dropped
rough,
him.
buddy.
Do you regret it, Homely? Acquiring Mines 1-0.
I even sent him whoever it was a trade for him, and they declined it, then dropped him. I was like, okay, I guess I'll just take him for free then.
That's actually kind of funny. That kind of shit happens all the time throughout a season, though. You just like whatever reason don't like the trade or whatever, and then move on, and then oh wait, you know what? I don't need this guy.
Puka Nakua. Fuck. He is good.
Now, is he gonna be the man when Cooper Kupp comes back?
No.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's not the same type of receiver. I believe they're saying he's a slot receiver or vice versa with Cooper Kupp, so they play different positions, so they could actually work well together.
I thought Kupp worked out to the slot. Does he
Yeah,
not?
it's either one. Whichever one it is, they play different receiver roles. So they're saying that he's going to be able to, go in right with Kupp. He may not produce the same amount of points, but
Yeah, no.
but still he'll be pretty good still.
Yeah, he'll definitely be the first and foremost second. Like there's no doubt, no doubt
He's
about
a solid
it.
wide receiver too. Yeah.
So in a league like ours where we don't do bids on waivers,
Oh, the fab
anyone
system. We should
anyone
do the
fab,
system.
yeah. Anyone who picks him up without a fab is they're obviously doing something great until week 5 or 6 when Kupp comes back. Someone in my other league, they spent $75 out of $200 for the whole season on Puka Nakua.
Wow.
The next highest bid was $25. So he's standing by it, and don't get me wrong, it's a good pick. But I said to him, I keep telling him, I'm like, it's week 2, and you spent $75 already.
Yeah,
and he's only guaranteed to be without Kupp for 2 more weeks.
That's what I'm saying. Kupp is coming back in
week 5,
likely week 5. So he's still a good pick, and he's going to perform, and he'll probably put up double-digit points every week. But $75 on a fab,
and think about this too.
I couldn't bring myself to do it. I haven't spent a dollar on any of my waivers yet in that league, and I've gotten every single one I put in for.
Think about this too. Puka's on pace right now for over 200 catches for the year. No way he can sustain that pace. And then the most that Cooper Kupp has ever caught in a season was 140 something. So, and then Kupp's coming back, and then Puka and him are going to have to split. And it's you're looking at a sharp decline in production from this guy. It's inevitable. And either that or Kupp ends up somehow being the number 2 guy to Puka, but still they're both going to be on the field. Even if Puka takes over the number 1 wide receiver 1 from Cooper Kupp, they're still going to split a lot of those.
Either way, they have a lot of talent because Tutu's done really good
Yeah,
too.
they still have
and
Tutu also.
Tutu also receives punt returns, so he has that, and our league
Higby
counts
still
for that.
hanging around there, stealing a
So
few
they have a
targets.
lot of talent either way that's going to be split. So I don't know what's going to happen. It's a lot to risk on for that much fab, like you were saying.
Yeah,
But
I
people
mean,
are really
even
high on
even
him.
in the half PPR league, it's still a lot to, his value is a little higher in half PPR, even with coming back. But I don't know.
Sorry, I just gotta tell Arrow Dark real quick. You should have subbed, son.
Sticking with the Rams, what do you guys think about Cam Akers?
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I'm happy for it because I got a free starting running back for nothing. But
You have Kyron Williams?
Yep.
Fuck, good job.
I got him before. I've been
I'm
watching
having
those waivers, bro. But yeah,
What filled me in because I don't know everything about Cam Akers. What's going on with him? Did they cut him?
All right. Let me tell you a story. It starts last year.
Story
when
time.
All this drama happened with Cam Akers. They were going to trade him, right? Do you guys remember that? And then he came back, was a stud for like the last 5-6 games. Everything was fine. Then, for some reason, they said he's a healthy scratch on Sunday, like 10 minutes before the game. And then they're like, yeah, we're going to trade him. So, but then they're like, no, his attitude's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably just trying to shop him.
So does he end up
wants to be
in Cleveland?
Well, the thing with that is that Cam Akers apparently really wants to be RB1, and he doesn't want to fight for being an RB2. And they're going to want Jeremy Ford to be starting. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
Regardless of who Cleveland picks, Jeremy Ford is going to be the work. He's going to get most of the work.
So where else is he going to be a good fit? Baltimore?
That could be a good fit, but
because J.K. Dobbins is down.
It's if they believe in Cam Akers that much over what they got going on right now.
OBJ's out too. That's one less mouth to feed.
Yep. So Zay Flowers gonna go up. I don't know, man.
How long is OBJ out?
He'll be fine.
Yeah.
They said right after the game, like, no, he'll be fine. But who's surprised that he got injured? Nobody.
No.
What if the Giants took him? You think they would since it's temporary or no?
No. I don't know where he's going to go. To be honest with you, I have no idea.
Yeah, like obviously running back is it's a tough economy right now.
Yeah, it's weird. And you don't even know what teams want either because teams are so content right now to do the running back by committee. They really are. There's a lot of people that are really just happy to keep doing that, and that nobody wants these expensive workhorses right now. That's just the way the league is. So people like Cam that are demanding too much, they're going to find themselves without a team.
Ask Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, or Fournette, or all the hell. For a minute there, I was scared that was going to happen to Zeke back in the day when he held out. But it's like, the league's changed a lot in the last several years, especially in the running back position.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough position. I mean, there's really not much longevity. And it's a big. I feel like the fall off is bigger with running backs than it is with wide receivers.
Your wide receiver position is deep. It's really deep, and leagues like ours, we can start up to 4 wide receivers. Man, you can dominate. You can dominate teams if you start the right 4 wide receivers in a week. You know, like.
Are we half point PPR, right?
Or full point?
No, we're full
point.
PPR.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
I'm in two other
for the third
half.
episode straight.
Yeah. Well, we should get the counter going.
I'll ask you again next week.
Yep, it's tradition now. It's tradition. You don't mess with tradition. But yeah, I'm in I'm in 2 other leagues and they're both half PPR, and it's a totally different ball game, literally. Which is even crazier because we had in one of my other leagues, an 8-man league, though, somebody put up 200 points in a half PPR. Their team went crazy.
Yeah, damn.
So definitely makes things interesting.
Yeah, I don't with the way the running backs are these days, I don't know how you still don't, even in a half PPR, I still don't know how you don't prioritize top end wide receivers over running backs. I guess just because people are more inclined to take the guaranteed points, and even when a running back doesn't go off, they still usually put up some points.
Right.
Whereas a wide receiver or tight end, if they don't go off, you could be looking at a goose egg. You know?
Yeah, if they get double covered, it's over, you know?
Yeah.
Look what's happening with Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase, you know, he's getting double covered every game. He's and Joe Burrow's on himself, so he's not performing. If you don't have, you know, T. Higgins or in some cases Tyler Boyd, you might not get any points from Cincinnati players for that reason. I wish I kept him, but last season I had Tyler Boyd, and I would very often run him in my flex spot just in case Jamar. I wasn't going to set Jamar, of course, so just in case Jamar didn't get any points, you know, maybe Boyd would. Obviously, Higgins is kind of filling that role as well, but Higgins is also towards the end of his contract, so he's going to put up some numbers this season.
Is Derrick Henry worth keeping?
Yes,
absolutely.
For this year.
Yeah, for this year. Now, Dynasty, you could sell him high, maybe towards the end, but you don't want to wait too long because he's getting up there in age. So
he's 29.
That's old.
He's
That's
still
ancient for a running back.
He's still a machine.
Yeah, he still is. He's still Derrick Henry.
You say that, but then Raheem Mostert's 31 years old and put up 25 points.
Yeah, that was ridiculous, dude.
But
he picked apart the New England defense.
Titans have the rookie Tajay Spears right behind him, and they're about splitting carries right now. I think I heard it was 51-49. So it's really close.
Titans are an interesting offense this year.
They run the ball.
You have D-Hop and you have the wide receiver 2 is good too.
Traylon Burks.
Yes.
Yeah, Burks.
The name escaped me for a moment.
Burks.
But
yeah.
I have a fun stat of the Cleveland-Pittsburgh game.
Sure.
So here's Deshaun Watson's night. 1 pick 6.
I know where this is going.
2 face mask penalties.
Wait,
6 sacks.
He took a face mask penalty?
No, he did.
No,
he kept grabbing people's face masks the whole game and throwing them down. Like, not even just barely doing it. He was just taking them and just throwing them on the ground.
He took 6 sacks. He had a fumble that was returned for a touchdown. And my favorite one referee he shoved.
Yeah, I'm not very excited about him for the first 2 weeks because I don't know, bro.
Deshaun Watson touching people without their consent, big surprise.
He did it.
Clip it.
Oh, and another fact of Deshaun Watson's night. After all of that occurred, he made $2.7 million.
Wow.
That's how much he made on Monday night.
Criminal.
Man. Yeah.
Dude, I mean,
he is a goon. He is a goon.
For fantasy, I'm not really excited about him or playing anyone on the Browns, really, because when Brissett was playing, they were doing way more numbers. And Amari, Peoples-Jones, all of them have been super low just in everything. Even Njoku not doing well.
Yes. So if anybody wants Elijah Moore, I have him. So
I might send you a trade for him.
I also am probably going to shop Garrett Wilson. I don't really want to.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's something I might be interested in.
Well, you better be willing to give a first rounder up. So
I don't know. We'll see.
Don't forget, we can trade picks for next year.
I'm saying
our league as well.
number 1 in
Yeah. Firestorm, bro. I'm so sorry, bro. about your loss. You've had so many injuries on your fantasy team and just super
Yeah.
fluke things, man. I keep seeing it every week. Another guy on your team's injured.
We're getting there. We'll figure it out.
I think
It's
last
It's only
year
week
it
three.
was.
It's only week 3.
Hey, I
didn't-
started
hey,
off
I didn't
0-4
last
year,
season. I
so-
didn't start popping off until halfway through the season. I had
Yeah.
some
It's a
really good waiver
long
pickups
season.
last season, and that's what propelled me to the end.
Hey,
The
man,
I
you
like
can
the
do it with
Bengals.
trades.
There's
Yeah.
there's nothing on the waiver yet.
The rate injuries are going, man.
Really
It's going
brutal.
to be a long season.
Yeah. Every day I'm just looking at my team. I'm like, oh God, please, Pollard, don't be injured. Please, no one
Yeah.
ever be injured, please.
It's Deuce Vaughn.
It's just scary.
Deuce Vaughn,
Yeah.
Deuce Vaughn or Dowdle, he's
5'5"
gotten
of
some
a Fury.
Yeah, he is.
nice
Yeah.
runs too. I
Yeah.
like the 3-headed beast in Dallas's running back.
I think
Or-
it's going to be San Francisco and Dallas in the NFC Championship. I'm 99% sure.
Yeah, I'm sure
mean-
it will be.
Headhunting's not going to like that, but I like it.
I feel like the Eagles have been struggling in the past game against just the first 2 teams they've gone against, and they just barely won both of those. I don't know, man. I'm not as happy with the Philly as most people are.
I still think it's too early to
Something's
tell.
off there. I don't know.
It's not
Jalen's
moving like they
playing
were.
he used to play, like he played last year. So
Not
far.
saying they're a bad team, but like they almost lost to the Pats, bro. And the Pats are decent, but they're not like, I don't know.
They're still going to
Mhm.
finish 4th in their division.
I feel like the Patriots
No,
are
probably.
a team that nobody expects to do well, but then we're also not surprised when they're competitive in every game they play.
Exactly. They got the.
Yeah, it's a mixed bag right now. I have a couple theories and a couple.
What's the Belichick factor, right?
Well,
He's
the
not going to
Bel-
be out of any game.
It's not just the Belichick factor; it's also the Bill O'Brien factor. There's two Bills on this team that are legendary coaches. The scuttlebutt around sports talk right now in this area at least is there's not much continuity between parts of the team. So like when special teams has a great play or defense makes a good stop or gets an interception, then they give it back to the offense and the offense does nothing with it. That's not very good complementary football.
Right.
And that was never the case with Tom Brady. They say, oh, defense wins Super Bowls. Well, New England's always had a good defense, but they also had Tom Brady on offense.
Yeah, and he didn't look a gift horse in the mouth. If he got a surprise ball back in his hand, he was going to use it.
Both of these games that the Patriots have lost because they can't. One, they give turnovers to the other team like they're Christmas gifts. But 2, they're down within 1 possession at the end of the game. Tom Brady marches down the field every time and gets that possession back. And the Patriots of late have not been able to convert those. I think they're still going to figure it out. And I think we chatted about, difficulties of schedules, and the Patriots have one of the hardest schedules.
The AFC East in general, they have
AFC East is a beast. I think they're going to do okay. I don't have them in the Super Bowl. Obviously, they'll be lucky if they make the playoffs.
That's what I was saying. They're going to.
I think they'll do better. They already look better.
They came into the season a little banged up on the O-line, especially. But we haven't had any major injuries yet, knock on wood. And if you look at Mac Jones, even though he's the most pressured quarterback in the league right now, I think he's tied for the least amount of time to release. He's still top 10 in all the other offensive stats. He's doing he's having a much better year.
I picked him up and started him in place of Dak this year or this week.
Yeah,
it didn't pay off for me.
Yeah.
It would have paid off great in week 1 because Mac Jones had like 30 points and Dak had like 6.
Yeah.
But so I was banking on that this week, and because I thought Dak versus the Jets defense, he would probably do the same that he did last week. But
as a Patriots fan, I was hopeful for a different outcome. But I don't think anybody around here is surprised that they're 0-2 against 2 of the best teams in football.
Exactly.
If they lose to the Jets which I don't. I
don't
really
think they
don't
will,
think they're
dude.
going to lose to the
They won't
Jets.
lose.
Jets
No.
they got a mess.
That's like my lock pick for the week is Patriots over the Jets.
Here's what I have to say about that. If the Patriots lose to the Jets this week, it's over. Season's over. Like,
Yeah, they can't lose that game.
they cannot lose because the chances of them going into Dallas and beating Dallas at home is very slim. There's no way. There's no way they're going to Dallas and winning. I really don't see it. So the last time the Patriots were 0-2, they won the Super Bowl. 0-3.
That was 2001.
Yeah, 0-3. They've never made this. They haven't even made the playoffs. So I think what's going to be the deciding factor for the Patriots versus the Jets this week, if the Pats can stop, if the defense can keep the run game to a minimum and make Zach Wilson throw the ball, that's where they're going to capitalize. Because when Zach Wilson is Zach Wilson, he's going to, especially against the Patriots defense, they have Christian Gonzalez, who already had, he had an interception last week. Zach Wilson's going to give the Patriots, he's notorious for, he's going to give them opportunities. The question is, if the defense has all these opportunities and converts for points, is the offense going to be able to do the same? Because the Jets defense is historically good.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if this is a low scoring game.
Yeah. Let me check I had the line. I forget what it was. I'm checking right now.
Yeah, Zach
I think it was
Wilson's
one of the
going to be
low.
able to step it up.
Zach Wilson is not the guy. He's not the guy.
No.
He's going to have to be able to throw the ball at least somewhat, because right now he's only throwing like to quick slants down at their feet, and then he'll throw one ball up in the air that gets picked off probably, and it's just not going to cut it.
And against the Cowboys, he did have that one good connection with Wilson.
But that connection was actually not a good throw. He just clutched it up. Like, he got an amazing catch, but that catch could have easily just been nothing.
Ray,
like,
do you
that
have?
was all Wilson to me.
Yeah. Do you have Puka?
I don't. No.
Oh.
No, that's Monkey Man. Who got
Monkey Man, if you're listening, I will trade you Garrett Wilson for Puka.
Also, I want to say something while I'm thinking of it. Olave had one of the best catches I've ever seen in my life on that game. If you guys didn't see it, he threw it deep on a go route, and he basically hit the ball with his hand, and then it fell off his hand, and then he still went under it and caught it. He like tapped it and then caught it, like 40 yards out or something like that. It was ridiculous.
Yeah,
like he
I couldn't believe it.
Tip drill to himself.
Yes.
Nice. I like that.
That takes so much coordination to be able to tap it with your hand and then still catch it in like a split second after that, because the ball can go anywhere. It can land anywhere.
Consciously, not like like the ball's this way. I got to tip it this way to get it.
Yeah.
Within like a half a second is impressive.
Sometimes I'm surprised that wide receivers don't have more tricks like that happen, because like, these guys mess around in practice, doing goofy stuff like this, but it seems like in the games they get real conservative with what they're willing to try, because that could trying to tip a ball to yourself could be pretty dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely didn't have that in mind when catching it. But yeah, very skillful still.
So just backtracking for 1 second, the over-under for the Patriots-Jets game this week is 36.5.
Ooh, I was going to guess 38.
I would take under.
I'm probably going to take the under on this one.
Yeah, I would take the under.
I got burnt on the under this past week with the Cowboys-Jets. I had under 39.5, and the total was 40 points. Thank you, Dallas, for being better than I thought they were going to be.
Is that week 1 or week 2?
This is for week 2.
Okay.
So, 36.5. I think unless the New England offense really figures it out, or if there's a bunch of turnovers on the defense, I also see this being a low scoring game. Very similar to week 1 against the Bills with the Jets. That was a low scoring game as well. So that's a pretty good one to consider the under for.
Yeah,
Oh, I can't believe you took the under on the Cowboy Jets game though.
Those two defenses. I mean, I know the Dallas offense is something else, but they beat up on the Giants. The Jets are 100%. They're definitely better than the Giants. I thought that was going to be a lower scoring game.
yeah.
Recognize this
I
guy.
wasn't that far off.
Recognize this guy. Number 88, baby.
Yep.
How many
He's not-
catches?
Yeah.
How many catches did he have?
He's the second best player on your team.
What? Who's the first?
Micah Parsons. He's by
Oh,
far. the
okay.
best
I was,
player.
See,
I
and
was thinking offense.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Is it wasn't the taking the under wasn't to speak against the Dallas offense. It was more to speak in favor of the Dallas defense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Dallas
got you.
defense is so.
They held them to 10
Yeah.
points.
It's looking mean.
I figured they were going to hold them to no more than 14 points. I figured it was going to be pretty similar with I didn't see them getting 30 points, but I was wrong. So,
Well, I'm really tempted to go all Michael Irving on you guys right now and just be like, how do you not believe? 10 points.
should,
They've given
bro.
up 10 points.
we all had them win.
10 points in
we
2
all had
weeks.
them winning in pick'ems. We all had them winning in pick'ems. So
Yeah.
Oh my
not
god.
that we don't believe.
I know.
I was looking at the numbers.
Uh,
So yep, 36.5 for the Pats Jets. That under is probably a pretty good bet.
yeah. I also
Damn it.
I took the under for the Tennessee Cleveland game at 39.5. So I think it's going to be both teams. I know Tennessee, and they're gonna suck against Cleveland. They always do. And Cleveland's offense hasn't clicked yet, so I think it'll be pretty low scoring. So it's a safe bet.
Do we want to go into the parlay now, or do we want to? Okay, so first, the new segment on the podcast, we're going to do a 4-leg parlay. It's going to bet $10 on the DraftKings Sportsbook. Each of us is going to pick a leg, and we'll keep track of it throughout the season. See how well we do. See how how much money we lose, how much money we win, and we'll keep a running total. So our first leg of the parlay is the under in the Cleveland game, right? Is that what we just said?
Yeah, under 39.5.
So we're doing under 39.5 in Titans Browns. January,
I got to
you wanna
write
next?
these in notes. Hang on.
I didn't
my notes
have
up.
one. I haven't done it before. I don't know how it works, so we can probably figure one out later. But
Do you just want to
Yeah.
pick a prop or a line or anything?
Texans
I took a prop.
game. I would go on the Texans game for Texans to win.
So you're just going to take Texans on the money line?
Yeah.
All right. Wakko?
What's the over under look like on the Cowboy game?
So
You said moneyline Texans.
Mhm.
Okay. Who they
So-
play this week?
Dallas is
They
playing
played
the
Jaguars.
Cardinals, and the over under is
Soft
43.5.
Let's take the over.
All right.
Over in the Cowboys game.
Over in the Cowboys game,
What's it over?
43.5.
Wow.
And then I'm gonna take
Wow.
a meatball pick. In the Niners Giants games, I'm gonna take Christian McCaffrey anytime touchdown, minus 200. So that's a pretty, pretty much gonna happen. So our 4-leg parlay, a $10 bet. If all 4 legs hit, we will make $232.24. So we're gonna lock it in right now.
Holy.
All right, I'll send it in later.
Go Cowboys.
So just so we are on the same page, under 39.5 in the Tennessee Cleveland game. Texans money line, over 43.5 Dallas game. McCaffrey 1 touchdown.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Lock it in. Oh boy.
Do you want to talk about some like waiver wire ads? Maybe
It's gonna be a short segment.
it's gonna be a short segment.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah, it's you just go down the injury report and who's next guy up. That's who you want.
Yeah, who's the backup? Get
That's
that
who
guy.
you want to pick up. You know, we already talked about what is it, Matt Breida for New York
Matt
Giants.
Breida, yeah.
It's like
Jerome Ford.
everybody picked up Kelly for the Chargers last week. So he's
Yeah, I
already
did.
on
He
he's
was up.
already on everybody's teams.
Roshan Johnson is one to watch.
I thought you were
Mhm.
gonna say Rochambeau.
CJ Stroud. Does anybody have CJ Stroud?
No, but I was gonna say him. I was thinking of picking him up if he's
He-
available.
He has the most pass attempts by a rookie in 2 games within the last decade. So they're throwing the ball.
Only
Yeah.
why you're just populating the waiver wire. Why quit dropping your players, bro?
Yeah, Tank Dell absolutely went off. He's a great rookie, and
and
Nico
Nico.
Collins went off too. Yeah, it's starting to look up for them.
On the other flip side, Damian Pierce is one that's really going down.
If you're really searching, you could go for Adam Thielen. Not that
Yeah.
I have much confidence on him every week, but if you need someone, he will be available. For
I have a claim in for him, to be honest with you.
I would think that
ahead.
the more that Bryce Young and him get time together, they're eventually gonna click because Adam Thielen
He's been around.
He's a talent.
He also doesn't have a lot of time left, though.
Yeah,
That's true, but he's a good veteran. You know he's not messing up his routes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a
Like,
great route runner.
Yeah, I mean, hell, he was the #1 fantasy wide receiver just 4 or 5 years ago. I mean, the guy has got talent. You know, he might be old, he might have lost a step, but for a young quarterback to have somebody of his caliber on their team, I think they're going to connect. He might be a good waiver or a bye week fill-in for somebody coming up soon once bye weeks start.
Yeah.
Who
has Mayfield? Who has Baker Mayfield in our league? Anybody?
I doubt anybody.
I think someone does. I don't remember who it is though.
Because he's another guy to watch. He is.
Yeah, Philly Specials got him.
He is this year's
Really?
Geno Smith. I'm telling you right now.
Ooh, that's yeah. Everybody was big on
Hot
Geno
take.
last year, so if that pops again, that's
a lot.
That's gonna be Baker Mayfield.
You can pick up Marvin Mims Jr. He dropped a 30-point game last week with 113 receiving yards, receiving touchdown. Yeah, I wouldn't trust, again, just like the last pick, him every single week because you have to trust Russell Wilson. But if they have any games like that against a trash team, he could be a good start for you.
Yeah, I agree.
Things are going to get a lot more aggressive on the waiver wire too once those bye weeks start.
I'm hoping some trades.
It's not a bad time to jump in and grab some of these guys that are questionable. They're on the bubble because right now there's no bye weeks. You know, nobody's desperate. You scoop these guys up right now. It's a great time. It's a great time to get ahead of everybody that's going to be scrambling once the bye weeks start.
Right now is a good time to trade, sell high, buy low.
Yeah.
Because it's before bye weeks. People are jumping to conclusions like with Jamar Chase, like, oh man, he's some shit for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, so now's if you got to know, you know, who you want to target for your team and you know.
Yeah. I mean, if you're looking for waivers and you can't find anyone available, just try and look for target shares because that's a big thing for a lot of teams. You may not be able to. Yeah. I mean, he may not be playing at this moment, but in the next few weeks, all it takes is, again, just one guy to get injured or for the coaches to try something different. Like if you need a tight end, one of them is Kylan Granson because he got 6 targets in his first game and 4 targets in the second game and a touchdown. And he's 0% rostered in Yahoo Fantasy. No one knows about him, but he's got those points if you need something. I mean, if I had this guy starting already, he would have gotten me better points than Njoku. So it's just things like that.
Yeah.
A deep carry. Another one is Braxton Berrios. He's playing on a team with Waddle and Tyreek Hill, so the shares are not going to be there. But like Waddle's injured right now, he'll probably be back. But just anything like that could happen where this guy comes up and he's already a talent, and you watch the game, and he would score a lot of points in the future too.
I like one of the things that I like to look for too is when a lot of people are talking about some of these younger talents that are encroaching on the guy ahead of them. I'll give you an example. A couple of years back, when KC Kareem Hunt was behind what's his name? Starts with an S. Spencer Ware. And a lot of people were talking about how Kareem Hunt was going to press Spencer Ware in the season for that number 1 spot. I picked him up in the draft, and a lot of people didn't even know who he was yet. And sure enough, Spencer Ware got hurt that year. Kareem Hunt was like the talk of fantasy that year, and I got lucky enough to draft him. You know, it's like, so look for those little clues when people are talking real big on the guy probably going to take over that number 1 spot. You know, he's got the talent to do it. Those are guys to keep an eye on.
Yeah, because you're not losing anything by having a high ceiling on someone that's just sitting on your bench. You know, you don't want to have people that are old and rotting on your bench that aren't doing anything. You know, take those risks. I mean, there's only one winner of fantasy. You know, you got to take some risk, trade around. There's been more people trading this year in our league, at least. I've been seeing that. I'm already about to be on like my 2nd or 3rd trade. So, I mean, that's what you got to do. What you got to do. You got to take risks.
So you think I should cut Odell Beckham? Because he's on my bench.
I mean, no, I feel like there's more upside to him. He's an older player, but like we still don't. I don't feel like I know the wide receiver 1 on the Ravens yet. Like Zay Flowers gets a lot of work, but you know, there's still that star tight end. So you never know. But the next few weeks, I mean, I would drop him.
I'd say trade Chubb if you can. Oh my God.
Solid advice.
Yeah,
Solid advice.
that's quite the investment there.
If you take nothing else from this podcast, you need to think, hey, it's time to trade Nick Chubb.
Some guy just came out of a coma, missed the game. He's like, hey, I'll trade you Chubb. You want Chubb? Sure, I'll give it to you.
Look, that's it. But if you're in a dynasty league or a career league or whatever you want to call it,
dynasty league.
Yeah, what are you doing with Chubb right now?
If you're in the dynasty league, I would keep him.
I have Aaron Rodgers and Nick Chubb on that dynasty team.
Buddy.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's brutal.
So they take 2 of my 3 IR spots. I'm just stashing him. I think he'll come back at some point.
Are you going to actively?
I probably wouldn't keep Rodgers.
I don't.
You wouldn't.
I think Aaron Rodgers is more likely to come back than Chubb.
I think they'll both be back.
They'll both be back, but I don't know.
It's just how long. And if they'll be
Rodgers is already talking about being back for the postseason.
He won't.
I don't think you'll see a quote like that from Chubb for a while.
No.
Chubb also likes to stay out of the spotlight too. You're probably not going to hear much from him at all.
Yeah.
Rodgers is a diva.
It's interesting. It's an interesting conundrum. I think if you're a Chubb holder in a career league like that, I think you actively try to trade him. That's my. I don't think you want to keep him long term. Get something out of him while you can.
Yeah, he's a sell high in dynasty leagues, I would say, and just a drop in redraft leagues.
Yeah.
If you're in a redraft league,
back this season.
No. You can cut him for this year and next year.
That sucks, man. That's another really high-end pick, just like Jamar Chase, that's just getting nothing, no value. He's injured now.
Yeah, true. Yeah, Rodgers. Now, I did hear he's looking into some experimental new surgery options. So it's possible there's something out there that's
I think he's going to do another darkness retreat. For
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah. Who put that meme in the? It was my wife, I think.
Which healing crystal to shove up his ass will make him
Yeah.
heal fastest.
Yeah, it was her. I thought so. We already talked about Pick'ems. We got Dabs here taking week 2. We got Janu is still winning the season so far.
We're
It's
close.
early.
And then it's
early.
a big drop off. But me and Januvia are like this. And then it's like 10%.
Are you gonna take that, Ray? I don't know.
I don't want to talk about it. It's only week 2. All right, we're gonna get there.
Yeah, it's a
Same.
long
We'll see.
season.
Janu.
Yeah, it's a long season.
Yes, sir.
And we had Monday Night Football squares last night too.
Yeah.
I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it is posted on the Facebook.
Did anybody hit?
Yeah, all four quarters hit.
That's quite a full board.
Yeah, there's 69
It's 2 weeks.
squares filled up this time around. And all four hit. We didn't have a full board, so it didn't pay out forward and backwards. Full board pays out forward and backwards, so 8,000 V-bucks instead of 4,000. And then we've got we got the new board cleared off and ready to go. Bengals, Rams.
Okay, looking at that matchup, would you start? Okay, so who would you sit from the Bengals in this matchup?
Well,
Who are
it's
you
hard
sitting?
to say.
Who are you sitting?
Like fantasy studs.
Everybody.
Fantasy. In general, Burrow, Higgins, Boyd, Chase, Mixon. Who are you?
I leave Mixon in. That's honestly the only one that I'd say is.
That's
a
the only one you're
guarantee.
confident in, you know.
Yeah.
Look, the number one rule in fantasy is you don't bench your studs. So you're not benching Jamar Chase.
I can't. I'm not benching Jamar Chase. I'll
Well,
never
not
bench
Yeah,
Jamar
you
Chase
can't.
unless he's injured.
Joe Burrow is not necessarily a fantasy stud. He's a great quarterback. He's up there. But also it's the beginning of the season. He's at least partially injured, even if he does start. There's definitely at least half a dozen quarterbacks I'm starting over Joe Burrow. So if you're a guy that's
I don't
carrying
see
2
Burrow having a
quarterbacks,
breakout game against the Rams.
yeah,
After the fight they just put up against the Niners.
Yeah.
I don't see.
I would kind of
The
put it in like
Rams
the
are
maybe
low-key
category. Yeah, the Rams are low key doing crazy this season, but as far as the Bengals go, maybe Jamar Chase, maybe on Higgins and Mixon, and that's it. I wouldn't do Boyd. I wouldn't do Burrow. Now the Rams, though, I'm starting a lot of people from the Rams. Running back, definitely start with Williams. You could definitely do Tutu Atwell and Puka Nacua because they've been going off every single week. So I think they're going to – I mean, one of the big things that I think people didn't talk about enough is their performance against the 49ers because the 49ers have a really tough defense and the running back still put up some big numbers and so did the receivers too. So I was surprised by that. I thought they were going to get shut out, but it wasn't that bad.
Yeah. Yeah, they're better than they've definitely shown more of the Super Bowl season than they did their 5-12 season.
Yeah.
You know, it's starting to look like the 5-12 season was the fluke, not the Super Bowl was the fluke.
Another thing to consider for starts and sits, if you're someone like me who's streaming defenses this season, this week coming up, there's a bunch of good teams in the waiver wire with good matchups that you may want to keep an eye on, unless you have one of the rock solid defenses like Dallas or Buffalo. There's a good number of high ranked teams in the waiver. So if you're streaming, you may get some good points this week, some good pickups.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
7 asks who's going to be the last undefeated team. And so
I'm
we've
gonna stick with
got
San Francisco or Dallas. They're the
I'm
two
sticking with
best
Dallas.
teams in the NFL.
Yeah.
we got Miami, Baltimore,
Tampa.
Dallas, Eagles, Commanders.
And the fake Washington Commanders.
Tampa.
Yeah. Falcons, New Orleans, Tampa Bay, and then San Francisco are
It's
still
gonna-
all undefeated.
It'll be Dallas or San Francisco, hands
gonna-
down.
Yeah, it's not going to be Miami. Miami might lose this week.
Who's San Francisco playing next week?
Be right back.
That's a good question. I don't have week. Let's see, week 4. San Francisco has got the Cardinals, so they're going 4-0.
It's
Hey man,
And
don't
then-
sleep on Dobbs. He may get a big comeback. No,
and,
he's
and,
not.
and Cowboys are playing the Patriots week 4, so that's another win.
I mean,
who's
that'll be a
playing who week
game,
5
but
then?
I think we'll win. But
Yeah, I don't know who's Baltimore playing this week. I didn't. That's the one thing I didn't queue up is this week's Pick'ems.
let's see. Where are they at? The Ravens are playing the Colts.
Yeah, so they'll probably win. But the Colts are another team that it's tough to sleep on.
Yeah, I'll also trade Anthony Richardson.
I might trade you for him too.
I have Hurts, and I'll just play the waiver on him on his bye week. So
Well, yeah, all the quarterbacks are gone in our league, and some guy has like 4 tight ends on his team, and he's hogging like all the tight end waivers, and I'm like, bro, give
oh
me.
my gosh,
Yeah, the tight end economy is in shambles too.
I got freaking Evan. I traded who got Najee?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I got Kyle Pitts for him. So
The tight end
Yeah.
tight end market's always in shambles though, because outside of like the top 3 guys,
yeah,
everybody else is the same for like 4 through 20.
Were you looking for Traylon Burks because you're afraid Hopkins would get injured, or because you're a Titans fan?
what was that?
I said because you were trying to trade me Traylon Burks, so I was wondering why on that one.
Who was I going to give you?
I think Kyle Pitts.
Okay. I need a different wide receiver because for classified reasons, I just need another wide receiver.
Classified.
Classified.
I am not
I
at
love it.
liberty to say in front of my fellow competitors,
League mates.
league mates. Yeah. I don't want to give away all my
okay.
secrets. I'm 0-2. Like obviously I'm doing great. So
All right, so the Cowboys play the Niners week 5. So that's where we decide whether or not
Dallas is the
either
real-
or is good. I don't
That's-
know, man. That's a
that's,
tough matchup for both teams.
That's a tough one right there. Oh wow, that's a
So
playoff
Sunday
last
night
year.
prime time.
that's a great
Playoff
that's gonna be a
heartbreak last year.
Oh man, it's gonna be so good.
Sunday night prime time on the 8th. That's going to be a tough game.
October 8th.
Yeah, I think we table this and come back to it because we gotta get through this week.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great game.
I'm ready for that.
You know Dallas is gonna be hungry for that shit too because of last year.
That would prove a lot if we go out there and just dominate the Niners. I mean, that
Yes, it
would
would.
shut up a lot of people.
Yes, it would.
So that is going to be probably the most exciting game of the regular season.
Maybe
Will the
Q
same-
wouldn't
will the
post
same
many
happen
bad
the other
memes
way,
about
though?
Dallas.
Well, the
Oh,
same
yeah,
happen
Yeah,
anyway.
Q.
It'll what?
So if Dallas gets shut down by San Fran, is it going to be a bunch of coping that they were away or blah blah
Dude,
blah?
it's always coping because the Dallas is Super Bowl or bust. That's it.
Yeah.
Every single year it's Super Bowl or bust, and that's a lot of the reason because the owner of the Cowboys is always saying Super Bowl, let's go, it's our year, and it's like, yeah, we're good, but like, stop saying that. Just say playoffs, make people happy. We're getting to the playoffs. Maybe we'll win the division. Like, just I don't know, bro.
Jerry's something else. He is something else.
But
He
yes,
is
I
something
think
else.
this year out of any year is the best our team's looking.
I agree with that. They are looking real good.
I feel like
Jerry
it really
Jones
depends
is
on Dak.
one of the best owners in the league, but one of the worst GMs.
At least he's
But it
not
is
Jim
our-
Irsay.
See?
So yeah,
Sorry.
it's either Super Bowl or bust for the Cowboys, and that's it. If we literally get to the final game right before we make it to Super Bowl and lose, it's everyone's laughing stocks to Cowboys. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I forget who posted the meme in the Discord, but it's gonna become a weekly segment now. You are here.
You
on
are
the,
here.
the Cowboys season cycle.
I posted it once, but somebody else posted it earlier.
That's true though.
That's
I've
been
seen-
posted
I've seen that meme.
every season since we've had a football channel.
I'm just gonna say this: if we can't do it this year, then I don't know anymore because we have a terrific team. We have a terrific team this year.
2 words: Trey Lance.
It's all about health. It's all about health, man. The team that stays healthy is gonna always has the best shot. Of the good teams. The good teams.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree with
You know,
that. I agree
some
with
that's
that.
teams-
every team.
Some teams are going to be healthy, and it doesn't matter. They still suck.
Well, I mean, look at
You
the
know?
downfall of the Jets. In 4 plays, their season was gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's over. I mean, nobody expects them to even make the playoffs now.
No way.
One
Not with
guy.
Buffalo, Miami.
One guy.
and
The funniest
low-key
moment,
New
bro.
England sneaking in there.
That dude in the crowd, the camera goes over to him on live
Jesus.
television. He just goes, flips him the bird. Zach Wilson. All right, Zach Wilson's coming out. He's like, fuck you, Zach Wilson. And then they won the game too, but I can't imagine being a Jets fan. Just the roller coaster of emotions you feel. Oh my
I've
god.
never met a Jets fan. I've never met a real Jets fan.
Me neither.
Oh, one of my
I'm not
best friends
convinced
is
they're
a
real.
huge Jets fan. He went to the game.
I
here.
know too many Buffalo fans, unfortunately.
Just years of sadness.
Yeah,
Years
my
and
buddy
years of
Malik,
pain.
he went to the Jets game, the Cowboy game, and I told him, I said, man, for the when the Jets beat won that week 1 game, I texted him and I said, man, this team's exciting. They've got a lot of young talent and they're fun to watch. But next week we're enemies. He's like, I expect nothing less.
Honestly,
like,
Q,
Have
might
fun
be
at the
worse.
game.
Might be worse if you're a Giants fan, Q, right now. They're not looking good. Honestly, I'd rather be a Jets fan right now because at least they have a crack defense.
Yeah.
Eagles #1, Q. Yeah, I swear Q was like the most hating Cowboys fan I've ever met. He doesn't even root for his own team. He literally
don't
roots
even know
for other
who-
teams more.
Who is his team? To be honest
It's
with
the cow. He claims to be a Cowboy fan.
Yeah, he
He's
says
an
he's a
NFL
Cowboy.
centrist, bro. He just plays both sides.
Yeah.
He plays every side.
I think I've
you.
got
Eagles
all
fan most hated. Eagles fans are the most.
So he
fucking
was saying that Eagles
Yeah, they're
fans are the
most
worst. Like
toxic.
he's not saying Eagles are #1.
Oh, okay.
I'm
they're
still a
they're
firm
the
believer
worst
that.
fans. They think they're snowballs at Santa.
I know we talked about this as a segment, but I'll make it quick. I'm a firm believer that the worst fans in football are Buffalo Bills fans. Having
there he goes
having
again.
gone to Buffalo for a playoff game, it's the worst place on earth. I'm telling you, it's the anti Disney World. Disney World is the most magical place on earth. Buffalo, New York is the most unmagical place on
What
earth.
did you see, Ray? What did you see?
It's horrible. It's like, so think of like the gulags in Russia.
yeah.
Like Siberia. It's a frozen
Duty
tundra.
dogs?
It's a frozen tundra, but worse because there's New Yorkers. All right, and it's also dangerously close to Canada, which that's a song for another time. But yeah, no,
Easy there, buddy. I was born in
Buffalo
Canada.
is horrendous. They are the worst. They are the worst fans.
South Park
Like-
had it right.
If you
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Built the
if you
wall on the
like,
wrong fucking border.
if you have stock in like folding table companies, then you should be a Buffalo fan because they just go through them like crazy.
How
But no,
how do you think
Buffalo
that
is,
compares to like a Cowboys
and
fan
that's
walking in the Eagles Stadium?
yeah. No, I've never faced so much abuse than I have when, and not for nothing, just being at Orchard Park is abuse in itself. So the playoff game we went to, it was horrendously cold. Like it was -3 degrees plus the wind chill. So I got a Labatt because they don't have like normal beer up there. And it froze by the time I got back to my seat. I'm like, okay, this is great. I go to put it in the cup holder, like the back of the seat has the cup holders. I put it in the cup holder and the cup holder breaks off. Like it is a poverty stadium. It's just Buffalo is horrible. It's a
That
horrible
sounds like
place. Never go there. If you're ever going to Niagara Falls, just go over the border, get your passport, go over the border, go to the Canada side. The casinos are better, the people are better. Buffalo, New York is horrific, but I'll die on
I
that
didn't know it
hill.
was that bad.
It's
Yeah.
bad. It's bad. But
You live
Did
in
anything
I'm sure
happen
you
to
guys.
you? Like, did anyone do anything to you?
Oh, I mean, you get the banter and the the slurs and every swear word you can imagine thrown at you walking around Buffalo, New York with a Patriots jersey on. But again, just
very,
in general,
very brave of you.
just in general, it's Buffalo's not a good place.
Could you imagine though, back in the day, like going to Oakland, going to a Raiders game in an opposing jersey? That had to have been so much scarier than going to Buffalo, New York.
Yeah,
I mean, luckily they moved to Vegas, and
I mean, I was there. I
Vegas.
was more afraid of freezing to death when I was in Buffalo, but
I just made my
Um,
like 4th trade on fantasy, bro. I got another one with Brian.
Do you?
Good. Keep
Let's
chipping
see.
away at his team. Keep chipping away at his
Hunter
team.
Henry.
Yeah,
so
Jason
you
like
get-
hates Brian's team now.
Review this trade here. You get Hunter Henry, and he gets Amari Cooper.
hmm
I mean,
I need a tight end, and I'm not afraid to lose Cooper this season because I'm not confident in the Browns passing game, especially since they have Elijah now.
I can't believe
Yeah,
you're
I mean-
trading Cooper. You were so high on Cooper.
Yeah, I love Cooper, but you got to take risk in fantasy. You know what I'm saying?
Got to take them risks. Where's my
I'm
commission?
switching
button?
up the whole team. I'm definitely going to be trying to get Cooper back, though, Brian. I
Wait,
don't
what's
know
this
how,
other
but I'm
trade? You
getting
got
him back.
two pending trades right now?
Yeah, I'm also trading Stevenson for Addison.
That's
at
a
you.
great trade, man. Jordan Addison is going to be a stud.
Especially if Jefferson goes to a different team and he's just that lone target. But either way, every time he touches the ball, magic happens.
Well, they're done. Done and done. Trades have been processed. Janu trading away all his keepers.
I barely even had any good keepers.
Well, all right, boys. What do we say? What we got any extra points at the end here? Or we done?
Hey, we're good. I'm working with Arrow Dark right now on a trade for Garrett Wilson. So
Oh. All right.
I think my extra point for the week. I really think the
fuck you, Brian. I'll say it for you, Wakko. Fuck you.
Oh yeah.
so
It's all right.
I
It's all right.
I really think the New Orleans and Green Bay game is going to be a good game to watch. It's two teams that are still trying to figure themselves out. This can kind of be a litmus test to decide whether or not one or either of them are legit. If it's a big explosive offensive game, then that shows one thing. If it's a low scoring defensive game, that's another thing. But if it's a blowout in either direction, I don't know.
And watch out for the Giants game. I think Daniel Jones is under heat this week. So that's an interesting one to watch. I also wanted to just say to the chat, if you have any suggestions on start sits, definitely send them our way.
Yeah,
Start
definitely.
sits, picks.
That's one thing that I know waiver is a big priority on Tuesday nights because waivers run. So that's kind of like our big talking point. But you definitely start sit advice. Like if you got any questions about who you need, who compares with who. Like I know Q asked one yesterday, or no, it was it wasn't Q. It was Funko Nate that asked a good start sit question last week. But yeah, I mean, it's never too early to think about that if you're set on who your team is or who your starters are. We'll focus on the waiver because it's Tuesday night, but definitely don't hesitate to ask us for, never hurts to get a second opinion on stuff.
Mhm.
I think that's it, gentlemen. I think it's time for Awkward Wave. Guys, don't forget we got Monday Night Football squares available, 100 bits on my stream. Get you a square. We also got the NFL weekly pick'ems for all subs that are on my channel too. So if you guys are hanging out in my channel and want to participate with us, try to beat us, come on in and play some pick'ems.
Subscribe to Wakko.
Well, subscribe to these guys too, not just me. But if you want to play pick'ems, it's gonna be me. Let's rock and roll.
All right.
We'll see you next, guys. Good week in your fantasy, or good luck in your fantasy this week.
Good luck, Brian. I hope you fucking lose.
He's literally kissing his trophy in his profile pic, bro. He loves fantasy. He's like,
I
love winning.
Easily that could be replaced with like.
That's him on Jefferson. Jefferson.
Better hope he doesn't end up lowest.
If he ends up
week.
with the lowest score of the week ever, it's gonna be bad.
I'm gonna snapshot his profile pic and replace it with a penis.
That's where
If ever the chance.
Spoiler alert!
First and he's last.
It's got to be Jefferson standing.
You heard it here first. You heard it here first. Episode 3.
I will undoubtedly make that trophy a penis and he will
pay someone money to do it realistically.
Trophy.
Edit it in max detail, like super detail.
Yeah, the trophy's actually still here. Like,
we're talking
true story.
girthy and veiny, man. I mean, this guy would be great.
Throbbing.
Throbbing. You're gonna feel that shit in your fingers.
He's just gonna be looking at it and feel bad.
Oh my god.
And then I'm gonna change it to my profile picture for the rest of the season after that on my team. And just do that every week.
All right.
Anytime someone loses, I'll make them take the profile picture.
Let's let these East Coast boys get to bed. We'll see y'all guys next week. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. We appreciate y'all. Well, good luck in week 3, and we'll see you for the recap next Tuesday.
All right.
All right.
See ya.